Yeah, brothers and sisters, what's happening? So, brother, I'm here. Let me make sure everything is copacetic on the sound. The sound is popping. Make sure the sound is popping because the sound got to be popping. You feel me? Got to be popping. Wait for my one spy to show up. One spy shows up. You dig? One spy always shows up. Where we at with y'all? Okay. We're good to go. We're good to go. We're good to go. I want people to get it live and direct. Shout out Sister Queen Keita. Order to get your hand out out my family. Get your head up my pocket family by way of my brother Wed Poet. And this I call this here the solution series here. Because I want to make sure things don't go awry because I speak to revolutionary brothers and sisters, not at. Very important that you speak to revolutionary coons, you speak at. Sometimes non-believers you speak at. But people who are about the struggle and are for about black empowerment, black greatness, uh, uh, this blackness all in all, you speak to them. Because at that point it becomes a build session. We talk about building sessions. We talk about people who are basically teaching one another. And it is possible that someone of a higher conscious vibrating level can teach someone else unconscious high vibrating level. I asked a writer of mine one time, I said, how often did you have high level discussion, high vibrating discussion? She says, not often. And since it was a bank manager, I got a little bank problem myself. I should have asked her for some some assistance, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to continue to challenge your mind. And I like to engage in those conversations with sisters especially, because the presumption is that, black men are intellectually stymied, you know. And intellectual discussion is not where we excel. We excel in other things, stereotypically. And it's false. It's a lie. And that's just the reality of it. It's a false connotation of black men. We are not a monolith. Inside joke. But we're not. We're not a monolith. And sure, we can get enamored with personalities and individuals. We've been kind of conditioned that way. But we kind of what we see is the outer personification of whom we are. So we look upon other people. Let me turn the light on because you can't see me in black. Hold on, back. Bam. Brother, a little dark skin. Get the light right on me. Where were you on the night of the 27th? Man, bleep you. I ain't snitching on nobody, Jack. Okay, you hear me? I ain't snitching on nobody. You can't get no squealing out of me. But today's show, right? We talking about polyandry, right? Want to make sure I get that said correctly. Polyandry. Women with multiple husbands. Now, I only deal with black people. And if I'm talking about Europeans, it's for the benefit of my argument from my perspective. I call it the solution series because I teach wartime teachers. That's where I come from. We're in the middle of war. Since we have been here, for them to go to Africa and then take the land of the black people that were already here was an act of war. Since that time, we have been at war. It's been a very long war. We don't realize it, but we have been. Every day is a battle. So my teachings is in regard of battlefield development. through the black family and black individuals. When we talk about a practice, it's in regards of war. Are we making aggressive, progressive movements toward getting the oppressor's foot off our neck? So whatever we do practice-wise, individual or family, is it solution-based? Will it get the proverbial white monkey off our back, the albino monkey off our back? So when you talk about marriage, okay. Obviously, we're talking about solutions. Now, polyandry is something different. Not something discussed amongst people. A lot of touchy topics that we have that can get a mug cut. This may be one of them. A black woman with multiple men. She's married to. Could be upwards of 2 to 4 to 5, whatever. Sister Queen Keita put it on the Facebook, said, let me hear what you think. You get some ignorance and you get some enlightening thought. Right? Very strong opinions against and for. That's an interesting conversation amongst females. How would they, what do they feel about this in terms of solution based? Can we get it out of our condition? That's why I don't care, get multiple partners and all the other questions. We've done that enough. That's the nigga conversation. I deal with enlightened conversation, antenna boom to the universe. How does this help us get out of this race problem? How do we supplant the system of white supremacy with the system of justice? Will this help us do that? One woman, multiple men. Right? And that's the context. I know her, you're crazy. And y'all women, I don't do all that. Not going to get us nowhere. Because if I see you in the streets, I want to build on that conversation. And I need you to be able to hear me. And I need to be able to hear you. Because, again, like I've been telling y'all in video after video, black people in this city are moving. And I find out they're moving in other states as well. Building collectively is very important. That this is the beginning basis of working together for something greater, towards the solution. It must be done. That's a hidden message from my sister. You know what I'm talking about? And whether it's my group or another group, as long as it's being done, and then ultimately when things are running smoothly, what do we do with it? That's part of the hidden message again. So, getting back, it's about circumstance, right? Necessity breeds invention. If something is occurring, you're doing back-breaking work. You say, how do I make this job easier? It's what we did on our plantation. That's why we created all the stuff they're currently using today. Cotton gin and all that. We created all that. The master was not going to create things to make the slave job easier. It didn't make sense. Look, just do it. Get it done. Look, we need 2,000 barrels of cotton. Figure it out. And so we out there, we like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And then we come up with a machine. Then the white man sees it. So, you make more of those. All right, I invented it. I'm going to profit off it. But you all get to continue to use it and make the job easy. That's how the white man negotiated with us. So we in a system of white supremacy. There's more black women than black men. For every 100 black women, there's 88 black men. It's pretty bad. Certain areas is higher, certain areas is less. Depending on where you at. Talking about gainfully employed, prime age 16 to 64. That's really what you're looking at, right? You're going to look at the young, strong man up until he's 50, 60 years old. Sisters ain't trying to have 2 or 3 husbands that's on mental disability, in wheelchairs, you know what I'm saying? No arms and things like that. I'm not trying to joke my brothers, but you kind of weed them out, right? Because let's keep it real. Unless they were married before said accident, whether we mental or physical, you know what I'm saying? They're pretty much alone for the rest of their life. So, who practices this? Let's be serious about the research, the information. You can divulge deeper. You can take a few minutes to look at it. Fine. China practices it in certain parts of Nepal. This is really about limited resources within the land, agricultural resources, and population. Of course, that goes without saying. But I'm going to say it dealing with your population. After you got way more women or way more men than women, or an interesting part in terms of culture that I believe in Nepal, I would just say a foreign entity believes that you can have more than one father. This is how they do it. The brothers of a family marry the same woman. So in essence, genetically, you have more than one father. I look just like my uncle. Well, I used to. I didn't have all this hair and he weighed less. People thought I was my uncle's son. And in certain cultures, they revere their uncle because within those different tribes and nation networks, uh, that's what they practice. So if you didn't really know who was the daddy, there ain't no DNA test, and the brothers all look the same, and the child looked like one of the brothers, it'd be like our uncle. So the riches and things that were accumulated by the uncles would be passed on when the uncle died. You know what I'm saying? So, and y'all can go further into that and divulge into that. So they would get allotted land, and so that if each brother, and this is strategic, you're talking about military science, you're talking about um, um, uh, immigrant culture or foreign culture, keeping things together, keeping things intact, instead of taking 200 acres and splitting it up if each of the brothers marry another woman. And they take this corner, they take this corner, they take this corner, they take this corner. This is how a lot of nations got broken up. They would marry the same woman. Boom, we keep the land intact. So it was strategy more than anything else. Yeah, there's a love thing in there. That happened, I think, in Kenya in 2013, in terms of something that was recorded. Uh, Two brothers decided, hey, we love the same woman, let's just marry. And there's no laws against that. And a lot of laws just on the books just to be, just to be there. People are practicing this. The same thing with polygamy. It's like, why is that against the law? Like, what's your business that these individuals are doing this thing, unless it's an economic thing? It absolutely is an economic thing. And when white folks get power and prestige, and influence, resources, tangibles, they create laws to prevent the common man or the common woman from obtaining what they obtain. So they put these laws together, but break every last one of them. Break them all. When you watch presidents, if you know about presidents, if you're conscious and you've done the research, or you listen to scholars who have done the research on presidents, and the presidents having their speech and they're from this moral high ground, they always speak from this high moral high ground connected to America, right? Then if you know personally about that, because this is the social media age, right? So now all the presidents have been outed and all the shit that they do, all the way from John F. Kennedy. They used to have threesomes with Marilyn Monroe and all that. So you look at that message and you like, dude, I know about you, man. You talk about morals. You really? It's all based on lies, all contradictions, you know. So they break the very laws that they create. Like Malcolm used to say, democracy is hypocrisy. And every time the representatives of America or government officials would talk about desegregation and that all these people supposedly want it, but we can't seem to get it, then we're living in hypocrisy, right? Every time I talk to you, every time the media or a microphone is in front of your face, you're saying integration, 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 but you're practicing segregation. I still see these signs, no niggas over here ever. There's something wrong here. You dig? So this is part of teaching you use different examples and stuff like that, so people are aware of the context of the discussion. So to prevent it from getting cantankerous, right? You want to keep it respectful. Now, if women want to practice it, I don't care. I don't. Then you get to the real talk. It's like, all right, cats kind of been practicing that, whether polygamy or polyandry. Some brothers, seen this fine sister, like, I ain't going nowhere. Well, that brother like, well, I ain't going nowhere. And the third brother was like, I ain't going nowhere neither. So we gonna sit here and see who's gonna last. She gotta have it. And sometimes it's not in that pretext of Spike Lee. She gotta have it, where she just was this kind of, they met it. So when she was kind of this nympho and Now a lot of times it's not like that. She's just bad like that. She's sexually liberated, because you can't remove the sexual aspect from it, obviously, but you don't get it from this angle. That the sister is living her life, trying things out, seeing who's down, maybe enjoy her life. And a lot of times the men already know. Be fighting over each other. Not so much like the women do, but she got to be a bad man with Jim. And it's not just a physical thing, it's just a vibration thing, it's a light thing, it's a whole lot. And we see a queen mother type of woman, we like, man, I ain't getting with now. I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying, bro? I ain't gonna know you there. I know you there, but I'm not gonna trip out on nothing, because I'm gonna win this race. As my daughter says, I gotta win this race. And a lot of times that's what it is. The best of sisters, and then you can get niggerish in other situations. But I'm thinking about the top sisters, bad to the mug in all facets. And brothers are hollering at her. She's saying, "Listen, I'm single. I'm enjoying myself. I date openly and all that." And brothers like, "Oh, you need to be with me." Realizing that's not gonna work, you got to bring something else to the table. You know what I mean? You got to be just as cool as she is, and you got to be. And we deal with, in terms of self-consciousness and our own individual self-respect, and very emotional. Society now has switched the genders. Men act like women, women act like men. I don't think it's evolution. Matter of fact, I know it's not evolution. When you're dealing with a system always comes to you like I do, you have to factor that into everything. The foods, the shots, everything. You'll find, if you look it up, estrogen is put in certain things that men consume. So it's a chemical imbalance in us. And so we're acting more and more like females. Brother Wesley Muhammad does a great job with this with the weed. The weed is prominent in our community. When the weed is infeminizing the black man, the feminization of the black man, you got to deal with that as well. So we can't handle a situation where a sister is dealing with other people. We bug out, but we still have that testosterone, we still have that masculinity, then we're going to grab that weapon. A lot of the shootings that we have is over women. When you get down to the crux of it, you ask the brothers and sisters around the way, the news is not going to cover that part. This nigga shot 4 niggas. Or they'll deal with the stray bullet that hit the 5-year-old, which is very important. But they don't deal why the person got the gun and went shooting. The people around him know. Oh, he was dealing with that chick. He told her not to go back over there to that man's house. And he found out she went over there. And she told him, I'm not going to go. You can't tell me nothing. I'm going over there. You know what I'm saying? Get your weight up. You understand me? And he know what that means. As men, we know what that means. That means he hitting it better than us. That's just, it's going to be a competition thing. We're going to feel some type of way. And if you can't handle it here, you're going to go to the gun. Instead of getting you some Hennessy, a couple pills, and wait till your turn. Be like, oh yeah? All right, next Tuesday, you come over to my house. I ain't playing. We don't do that. We go get the piece. We like, all right, he going to be out the picture, period. And if I hit you too, you going too. And that's how we be reacting when we talk about the hood thing. Now let's go to the revolutionary thing. That's why I like the opera. 188 men and women. Right? We talk about polygamy and its benefits. You have one woman here who has 2 husbands. Let's say she got 2 husbands. Now, sexual component you can't get rid of, right? So there has to be some time there. You know what I'm saying? Whether y'all living together or not, okay. You can separate houses. That may be easier. Whether it be up the block, across town, or whatever. Childbirth. Now you gotta have a situation with that. Now you have the baby, one baby in the womb. Now, are you gonna do the blood test thing? Do the blood test and find out whose baby is, right? And the mug that you're staying with, he's the baby. Okay, so the other one ain't the baby. So now, is he prevented from touching his wife because it's not his baby in the belly for 9 months? That's gonna work? Okay, so we're in an active genocide right now. Our people get killed the globe over. There's attack on black male masculinity and black males, period. There's an imbalance which forces the women to compensate for the lack of men, biologically. Right? So you got, like I said, you got strong women out here looking good in mug, and then you hear them talk. Yeah, nigga, you supposed to come over here last night. You don't play that shit. You didn't come over here when you supposed to, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But nigga, what's wrong with you? I know y'all hear women like that, man. Y'all be like, y'all don't ever be like, what happened? This smooth, suave, feminine voice and energy just brings a calm. But if I'm a man and you a man, it just get weird because we already got dudes out here walking around with dresses. There's dudes walking around with dresses and wigs, and it's on an uptick, it's increasing. From a revolutionary standpoint, that's not good. For brothers and sisters working regular 9 to 5 and don't operate from the penile gland, from the third eye, they're like whatever, people can do what they want. The thing is, this person now is competing for you or with you for your man because they want your man. Better believe they put on that wig and they want to see if your man is really heterosexual. If he get a check, think if your homegirl gonna try to take your man, don't you think your homeboy is gonna try to take your man? It's real. So let's go back. The other husband, he can't touch the baby. So for 9 months he's sitting there waiting. You gotta throw another month on him. But you know what I'm saying? You waiting. Bruhs, 10 months? And you married? Bruh. Really? Now, again, we go from a population standpoint. One man, 54 wives, get them all pregnant on one time, and multiply like that. Even within the research, it says polyandry, one of the benefits of it is to limit population. Black people are not population control. We don't want no parts of that because that means the extermination of us. When they say population control, they say too many niggas on the planet. How you gonna say it's too many people on the planet, the original people on the planet that the planet was made for, that we're connected to, and it's our planet, and you, the foreigner mutant virus, gonna tell me that there's too many niggas on the planet? There's too many y'all on the planet. I'm surprised white folks ain't pushing this. Watch that in the next 4 or 5 years. White folks, y'all gonna feel different about polyandry when white folks start pushing it. But there's only a scant places in the world that actually practices this. Now, I would say in the region where there's more men than women, and there are regions in the United States that it is. I mean, you could travel, but there's so many of our people don't have the opportunity to travel. So if you're stuck in them arenas and you feel like that's the purpose, you get limited women, you want to protect the women, okay. See? So it's about region, areas of the world, planet, where you at? Western part of the United States, northern part of the United States, West Africa, East Africa, the regions where there's more, apparently in certain age groups, there's more men than women in northern parts of Africa, and you have to practice that for survival purposes. Cool, because we got to think like adults, which is we've been muted to a point where we're not been made mature in this system. Black people cannot make mature decisions for the greater good of their race. They make decisions for themselves, but they're not necessarily mature. You know what I'm saying? So, and this won't be a long video. I'm about to be done anyway. The merits of it, that the woman has protection. If you, like I said, if you're in a region where there's limited amount of women, there's certain things that you see that's going on. There's certain attacks. We're both getting attacked the same way. We're not the, yes and no. We're both getting attacked. Sisters are push the Planned Parenthood, get the fetuses removed, have abortions, take sterilizations. Those sterilizations are very real. Rich folks are pushing sterilizations to Africans, talking about getting their fetuses removed and sterilizing them for X amount of money, $500-$600. That's going the next day because they're already in debt. We all in debt. So now they can't have babies for the rest of their lives. Those fetuses, meanwhile, hot and on the press, go to white women who can't have children. Black women and black people have never had a problem having children. It's like the ecosystem. It's like that whole Superman movie. I talked about this before. You had a Superman movie, and the Kryptonians came to Earth, and they tried to change the ecosystem to Krypton. So the Earthlings was going to die, but the Kryptonians were going to live. So Europeans take over the planet and then make it make the environment conducive to their living style and what makes them stronger. But it's the complete opposite of us. So they're getting stronger and we're dying, which is not good for the Earth. Us and the Earth are one and the same. For instance, the environmental stuff that's going on on the planet. Black people would never do that. Like, we wouldn't do things in regards to, if we found out that fossil fuel was killing the planet and we had another energy source, then we would just make the switch. Duh. Okay. Duh. Africans make those things, but they end up dying or getting confiscated and they're not used because white folks are about death. They are a death culture and making money and pictures of dead people on it. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you're in that culture, it's best for us to continue to reproduce, to fight this beast. Now, again, if you were in certain regions, because I'm a former athlete, I always make these comparisons to my athletes. You got a particular philosophy, offensive philosophy, football, basketball, right? You got a particular personnel. Now, I want to run and gun, but everybody is big and fat. Everybody is, what's that sister's name? I lay my head back, check my head. Whatever her name is. I got a basketball team full of hers. Running gun is going up the court, one shot, shoot, one shot, shoot. Now, you think she can go up and down the court like that? No disrespect to the sister. But no, I'm going to have to slow this down really slow to try to win a game. And I'll probably win more games doing that than I do running up and down, running up and down, running up and down, because it's not her style. It doesn't fit her physique. So if we're in northern Alaska or something like that, and you got black people there, but you got 100 black men to 50 black women, okay, you're going to have to practice polyandry. You know what I'm saying? Do we change those numbers a bit? Either import more Africans or through the marriages and through the births that we replenish the population, right? That's smart. Then obviously, if there's more women than men, you're going to have to practice that. Now, we have a problem dealing with that, even though we know there's more black women than black men. You know what I mean? And they'll have these studies, and they won't put systematic white supremacy. They'll say, yo, somehow the numbers, we don't know why. Mass incarceration, and men are unemployed. Half the men in America, black men in America, are unemployed and are uneducated and on mental health drugs and things of that nature. We just can't understand why this is occurring. Well, you're doing it, asshole. You know what it is. So I have to go from the Negro discussion, I'll stop saying the Negro discussion, to a high-level revolutionary discussion where we get the foot off our neck. If this helps get the foot off our neck, I'm all for it. Like Malcolm X said, listen, if we can get free with integration tomorrow, let's integrate. But sadly, that didn't work. And I don't necessarily believe this is going to work from a mass perspective. Like, let's do it. Let's everybody do it. Let's black people. This is what we're going to try here. And you can still have the monogamous one-on-one marriages, but we're going to do polyandry. If we do that, and you're doing polygamy and monogamy, and people just have a choice of marriage types, then let's do it. If you're talking about one over the other, then I'm going to pick, obviously, polygamy. Simply because of the active genocide campaign here. And you have, again, I'm going to touch on it because you got to touch on it, the one phallus and the multiple phalluses and the one vagina. It's all personal, right? If a woman is overtly sexual, then she'll like consistent, constant sexual contact or sexual access to a husband. She may be 3 or 4 or 5 down. Then that's why you got pornos. that's what it is. So it really depends upon you. Like, you really have to lay out the equation. The man, she can have 3 men who just have not very strong libido at all. So it's cool on her part, because the libido isn't strong, so she's fine, and they're having a great relationship because you got different personalities. You gotta put them together. Because if you talk from an alpha male perspective, yeah, I ain't finna have that. No, hell no. But there's other aspects of manhood, including the beta male, the one that's not over rah 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 rah. He may be cool with that. 2 or 3 of those guys just being there chilling. Yeah, get at me when you're ready. All right, I'll see you every Thursday. They may be cool with it. Who knows? We can personalize it, but if you're really for the community, you got to think in terms of not just yourself, but what others may think based on the personalities that you may know of or that you don't know of, or the personalities that you've seen. I seen that brother and that brother. He probably actually would be good for it or good with it. And then you know a bunch of brothers that won't be, so they won't be engaged in it. But you got 45 million black people on this continent. You can't think that there's not a segment of the society, black society, that says, no, we should try this based on our surroundings and what we're faced with here, at least locally, on our communal spectrum. Not from a mass level, from the area here, like you say, Albany is connected to Detroit, or small cities in California or something like that. That could occur. But anyway, that's my take, man. Y'all take that. This is great dialogue and stuff like that. Come up with different things, and we can go on our channels and express our thoughts and our feelings. Maybe bring some research and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I just call it debate. I don't know. We just giving out thoughts and opinions and stuff like that. We have a high level conversation dealing with solutions. That's what I'm about. That's what I like. You know what I mean? And so I overwhelm people with it. But I'm gonna make you think. And so that's what we need to do. We need to make ourselves think. So people assume this is gonna be an all-out attack on polyandry. No. Whatever the solution is, what's comfortable for you, and as long as you are helping within the community with your family and showing the merits of it and how it's beneficial, and if it's working, you push it. Certainly, if it's effective, push it. Make it work. I'm out. Peace. SoundCloud.com/GYHONP. YouTube. Subscribe, please. Go to the Facebook. Equip Mr. X. Go to Facebook. Get your hand in my pocket. I'm out. Peace.